So she's compromised their vision. And I think it's just a bunch of bullshit for her to come on television and to shame America for supposedly enabling a genocide when every step of the way she hasn't done anything to stop it. She's signed bills before, or she'll say absent. Absent means I'm not against it. I'm not for it, but basically it allows the money to go to Israel. And once again, she uses the bullshit argument that she's giving Israel defensive funding for defensive purposes. And my question is, well, to defend themselves from who? She'll say it's for terrorists.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Israel is the only terrorist nation there. And also, if she's truly a socialist, socialists believe that we're supposed to be spending money on healthcare, American schools, and on humanistic adventures, not on helping a country which has a very dodgy human rights record to defend themselves from who? From Iran. Iran is not a rogue nation. And for every dollar she signs over to them, there's a dollar that's taken away from American healthcare, from American schools. So as far as I'm concerned, she says she's a socialist. She says she's a social democrat. All she is a greedy politician with no morals and no conscience. What are your thoughts, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, also if you look at the timeline, it's February 2026. She's in Munich, the heart of the old world establishment, calling out the very government she voted to fund just months ago, in July, literally months ago, not even a year ago, months ago. You know, she literally voted against cutting that, was it $500 million?
500 million, yeah, which by the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene presented that bill, and everybody says the Republicans are the war hawks. Yes, she voted, she blocked it she blocked the attempt to funding that money. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, think about that. You don't call something a genocide on Friday and then vote to give the alleged perpetrator $500 million in defensive tag the previous Tuesday, unless there's something going on. There's a script involved. So I think another thing that we should think about is that the national DSA, right, pulled her endorsement in late 2024. And everyone says, oh, moderate now, right? Wrong. That was a coordinated divorce. It allows her to move into the mainstream reformer slot for a potential 2028 run while keeping a socialist cred.
Yeah. So you think they still want her to run for president? And my thing is that the Democratic Socialist Association of America, they need to distance themselves from her because she's hurting socialism, because she keeps on passing or allowing bills that spend billions overall, when you look at how much, or trillions overall, to military and everything, which is why the U.S. is having a social breakdown, because no monies are pumped into schools or anything. They've cut the federal budget for education. I don't see her going against that. And like you said, Marjorie Taylor Greene tried to block $500 million aid to Israel for defense, and AOC voted no against not funding them. That's the same as voting yes to fund them. So she's playing games, and a lot of people will champion her, just like Bernie Sanders, as a champion of socialism. But once again, no, you're not. When you're working within the U.S. political system and you become a senator or a congressperson, it means you're part of the game and you're bought off. So which is why I always say that you're not going to find a socialist within American electoral politics. If you want to find the socialist, you have to go to the labor unions and the activists. If she's a true socialist, let her give up her $100,000 a year paying job as a senator. It pays her $100,000, but she gets millions from Jewish lobbies and other people. So basically, she's a traitor to the socialist movement. She's a traitor to Black and poor people. She's a traitor to the lives of human beings in Palestine and all of them, because she has no conscience or credibility. She's staying within a system of violent people. You would never see Malcolm X or Martin Luther King run for office. If they got in office like her and they had to do what she had to do, they would step down. These people died for socialism. She's not dying for socialism. Half of the time, she spends her time on Twitter trolling Donald Trump. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You know, she's hurting socialism. I think that's the most honest thing anyone has said all day. But we also have to ask ourselves, is she hurting it because she's failing, or she's hurting it because that's the mission? You know? Because socialism isn't just taxing the rich man. Its heart is also internationalism. The
Yeah.
idea that a worker in the Bronx has more in common with a worker in Gaza than the CEO in a, I don't know, rich country. By voting to fund the Iron Dome in July 2025, she basically signaled that American managed security counts before global solidarity.
Yeah.
She's basically said, I'll fund the high-tech shield for you know, um,
For Israel to
the
defend
empire's
itself.
outpost.
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you
What?
were right. Yeah, you were right. Empire's outpost. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll use the word genocide later to keep the activists at home from burning my office down again. So that is definitely, it's not socialism. It's what is that word I'm looking for? It's imperialism
She's an
with a
imperialist
smile.
because she supports America every step of the way. And she said now she's invoking something called the Leahy Act, which means you can't be funding a group of people who obviously are committing human atrocities. But she was giving them defense. She was saying basically saying yes to 500 to $500 million for them to have a dome. And the reason they want to have a dome is so that they can attack Iran as an imperial nation, and then Iran won't be able to strike them back. And so she not only, like you said, she's not only she betraying workers all over the world, she's betraying humanity, which is actually the first tenet of socialism is humanity, because she's allowing Israel to, with impunity, a country that's with impunity killing people in Palestine.
Mm.
She's allowing them to have a shield so that they can now start destroying people in Iran, destroying people in Syria, destroying people in Lebanon, calling them terrorists when we know that the terrorist nations are the U.S. and Israel, Britain and France. These are the biggest terrorists of the world. And as a senator or as a I don't know if she's a senator. I think she's a senator or a congresswoman.
Mm.
She's part of the imperial system, but she doesn't want to, because I know in her heart she doesn't want to be part of it, but she's too weak to step down from her position or put herself on the line to fight for what she believes in. So she wants to have it both ways. She wants to help the
Yeah,
empire.
which is impossible.
Yeah, and also she's lying to herself. She really believes that she didn't do anything wrong when she gave money to, when she approved of 500 million for Israel, because they've studied this in psychology. You can't face your shadow. So in her mind, she's not doing anything wrong. She'll say that she's part of a bad system, but she's going to change it little by little every day. So she's lying to herself. But for us who can see what she's doing on the outside, she's just a tool of imperialism. That's all. She's fake. And anybody
The
who follows her,
hypocrite.
she's a hypocrite. This is not what socialism is about. Socialism is about going on strikes, shutting down this country until the rights of people in Minnesota are respected, the rights of Iran's sovereignty is respected, the rights of Venezuela is respected, the rights of Palestinian lives are respected. Until she stands up for that, she's not a socialist. Last thing I'm going to say, she's approved of hundreds of millions of dollars given to Ukraine to continue their war against Russia. No doubt she'll say it's to help the sovereignty of Ukraine, but that's not your job as a
That's a
socialist.
good idea.
Your job is supposed to push for diplomatic resolutions of wars. You're still sending hundreds of millions to Ukraine. In Ukraine, U.S. tax dollars pays for education, for healthcare, for everything. But we don't. It doesn't pay for that for citizens. So she shouldn't be passing any bills to help the Ukraine, even though maybe Ukraine needs help. It's not America's job to do that. So that's what I'll say. Any last thoughts?
It's so crazy how someone can be so delusional, hey? Like the fact that she doesn't see anything wrong. Like it's very interesting, I won't lie.
Yeah.
But my last thought is that look at the evidence. Like let's look at the evidence we just uncovered, It shows that she's a hypocrite. Just 7 months ago, she had the chance to put her money where her mouth is. She voted against an amendment to cut $500 million from the Iron Dome. She claimed it was defensive, but any technical analyst will tell you a shield is just part of a weapon system.
Yep.
It allows a sword to strike without fear. She funded the shield, but then flew to Europe to cry about the sword.
Yeah, and she went to Munich because this is an important meeting in Munich, because in Munich now, the German president is basically he's changed the German constitution so that Germany can now borrow as much as it wants. It can borrow even up to 99% of its GDP to fight Russia. So they needed to bring her there and other people there to push their military economy. So they're becoming just like the U.S. So she doesn't realize that they brought her there to make it look like they're peaceful people, and because she gives them good cred, because a lot of stupid people think she's a socialist. They say, see, we have a socialist lady here. And she even came there and started talking about how whiteness is a construct, it's not a culture. And someone says, if we say that about black, will you like it? And it's true, black is not a culture.
No.
People, Nigeria, South Africa, African Americans, they're not under one monolith. But she's talking about white. Yeah. We already know white is not a culture. It's a construct. Black is too. So she's just stupid. And when I see her, it makes me sad because I'm smarter than her. Why am I not a politician? Why am I not getting paid? You get what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get out of here. You're watching political gurus. Yeah, we give you the inside, nasty, dirty look of American politics. Sometimes good also. Guys like Tucker Carlson, watch them. Maybe Candace Owens. Okay, so we'll be back next week with another topic. We'll be talking about what's his name, the mayor of Mamdani, the mayor of New York, who's another socialist. All right, thank you.
Thank you.